A revolver with just one bullet was tossed casually in front of the man.
1 click, your son leaves. 2, your wife goes free. Or 4, we even let the dog go.
But the guy didn't even bat an eye. He picked it up and pressed it right to his temple.
What are my odds?
Congratulations.
The man's death-defying stare left the gangsters threatening him stunned.
It's like nothing, it's like he's in a hole.
Yeah!
After he pulled the trigger 3 times, they let his friend go like they promised. He didn't think the guy had the guts to pull it a 4th time, and turns out, he was right, this time. The bullet was unavoidable, but who it hit, that was anyone's guess.
Whoa!
In the end, with his loyal dog's perfect teamwork, he took down all the gangsters, but honestly, this was just a warm-up. The crisis was far from over. The leading man Jack is an ex-LAPD K-9 unit officer. Since quitting the K-9 unit, Jack had been living a quiet life with his wife, their son, and a few dogs. Besides eating and sleeping, he spent almost all his time training his dogs at home. One of them, a Belgian Malinois named Gus, was the most skilled, and also the one Jack trained the hardest. Jack's life was peaceful, but the city was anything but. A man had kidnapped and taken to an abandoned warehouse. His kidnappers spoke Spanish, calling themselves the gods of action with absolute freedom. Just as the guy was panicking about escaping, the kidnappers' goons closed in with 2 dogs on leashes. Then his screams started echoing out. The camera pulls back, revealing way more than just one captive here, and from the decor, it looked like a cult. On the other side, Jack, his wife, their son, and the dogs headed to a restaurant for dinner. At the table, his wife suddenly took his hand. She said she never wanted to tell him this, afraid it'd only make things worse, but she had to, for his own good.
You have to tell me.
You slept last night.
Turns out Jack's got severe PTSD. He hadn't had a single proper night's sleep in ages, but his wife said he actually slept last night. That was a pretty good sign. She thought quitting the force was the best call he ever made. Retiring to train dogs at home was perfect now. It let her finally breathe a little easier. Jack just went quiet for a long beat. Right then, the cloud security app on Jack's phone blared an alert. He checked it, and his face dropped. The house must be on fire. They raced back home, but when they got there was no fire at all. Turns out it was just the oven left on, smoking like crazy.
You gonna turn the oven off?
I never turn it on.
Jack jumped into action with his dog socks, yelling for his wife to call 911. She grabbed the kid and hid in a room to dial, but in the next second, the fight between Jack and the intruders spilled over. They were going at it tooth and nail, and Jack's dogs were barking up a storm through the door. Just as Jack's in trouble, the dogs burst through the door and charged the intruder, lunging and tearing into him. That's when the cops showed up. They saw the intruder taken down, and told Jack to stick around for questioning. But Jack quickly noticed Socks was badly hurt. From the fight, it could barely move. He was about to run for an ambulance when the house blew up in a huge explosion. Both the intruder and Socks were killed instantly. Before long, the police department held a simple but solemn memorial for Socks. Dozens of officers showed up with their K9s to pay their respects, but Jack's eyes were filled with rage. Whoever did this came prepared. Truth is, Jack's just like John Wick. You don't mess with his dogs. After the funeral, Jack tried to send Gus back to the K9 unit, afraid he would meet the same fate as Socks, but loyal Gus refused to leave his side. Jack had to take him along, and the two drove out to the coast. With a heavy heart, Jack scattered Socks's ashes into the ocean. But the trouble's far from over. His house was gone, but he still owed money on the mortgage. Worse yet, Jack had commercial insurance on the place, but the insurance company was refusing to pay out. They were hiding behind fine print, saying, without security footage, they wouldn't approve the claim. That really lit a fire under Jack. As soon as he hung up, someone walked over to say hi, said his name was Thorne, a detective. Thorne asked if he had a minute to talk. Jack nodded right away, then he kept training Gus while they talked.
Hoping you would shed some light on a few things.
You're not from robbery homicide, are you?
Hey, you should be the detective.
Thorne smiled faintly, admitting he knew about Jack's past, how he'd taken out some drug dealers on his own. Killing's illegal, no matter the reason. he said.
Right. Now is a bad time.
Later, Jack planned to hit up an old colleague for info on the dead intruder. On the way, he ranted to Gus, saying the thugs went after his dog first. He was just fighting back. He couldn't bear to think what would happen if he went to jail, divorce, bankruptcy, everything falling apart. In a low voice, he told the silent dog, if some miracle happens, pay the mortgage, get the insurance to cover the claim, and those drug-crazed psychos leave me alone.
Good chance. I'll go to prison for the rest of my life.
Soon, Jack met up with his old partner Kate. She was the one handling his house explosion case.
We pissed off the same people. Maybe you can help.
Kate whispered the dead intruder's name, Adolfo Reyes. He's not a cartel guy, not an illegal immigrant, just a Mexican citizen who lived here. Right then, Kate's boss walked over. Since Jack wasn't on the force anymore, he wasn't allowed to be there. Jack quickly ducked into Kate's car. The boss handed Kate money the team chipped in, knew her mom was sick, wanted to help out. Kate saw a photo inside the envelope, and her face dropped. Once he left, Kate went on, Reyes was a journalist, used to be an amateur boxer. He didn't even like the cartels, but 2 days before he broke into your house, he and his family were reported missing. I'll find out more tomorrow and let you know. Later, Jack drove through the streets with his dog. As expected, the place was crawling with addicts. Then he rented a house for them to stay in temporarily, but his wife wasn't happy. The rent here's gotta be expensive, she said. We're tight on cash, no need to blow money like this. She'd been thinking about going back to work. Jack shot that down immediately. You quit your job 'cause you wanted to stay home, and I promised I'd take care of us. I'm not gonna dump this mess on you. This is my responsibility. The conversation ended on a sour note. The next day, Jack met Kate again. That's when he found out the cartel had kidnapped Reyes' family, the ransom. Jack himself, dead or alive, if Reyes brought Jack to them, his family would go free. Clearly, those cartels hated Jack's guts, but the coroner still hasn't figured out what kind of bomb they used. Could have been remote-controlled, or a timer. Kate told Jack the cartel's leader was a monster. He'd use vicious dogs to kill his hostages, then leave their bodies out on the streets for everyone to see. Right as she said that, a bunch of cartel guys walked into the shop. Turns out the cartel had blackmailed Kate too. The photo in the envelope yesterday, it was her mom, betrayed Jack, or her mom dies. Now Jack was surrounded. The guys had guns, and he only had his dog. Laying low was the smart move for now. The underboss walked over and sat across from him. Jack asked what he really wanted, but the guy just pulled out a gun, saying he wanted to play a little game.
Jake, please, they're gonna kill us.
Do what I say or they die.
Jack grabbed it and pulled the trigger the second he sat down, but it was empty. The underboss smirked and pulled out a single bullet. Heard we'd been watching you, he said. We got bugs in your car, your house, everywhere. We've been listening to everything. He slid the bullet into the chamber. 1 pull, your son lives. 2 pulls, your wife lives. 3 pulls, your cop friend lives. 4th pull, the dog lives too. It was a deadly game of Russian roulette. Jack grabbed the gun, pressed it to his head, and pulled the trigger twice in a row. The underboss stared in shock as Jack pulled it a third time, still empty. The underboss gestured for his men to take Kate away. Next time, the odds were 1 in 3 he'd blow his own head off. He leaned back, ready to watch Jack die, but Kate, still by the door, screamed it was a trick. They never let my mom go. It's a lie, the underboss snapped, yelling at her, and Jack whipped the gun around, pointing it at him. He pulled the trigger, blowing the guy's brains out. Gus lunged at the same second, and together, they took out every last guy in the room. Jack grabbed his phone, frantically calling the cops watching his family. He told them Kate had been taken, but was relieved to hear his wife and son were safe. Still, he wasn't taking any chances. He had to get back to them. But as he drove, a voice suddenly came from the little charm, hanging on his rearview mirror. It was a camera the cartel planted. Jack looked at the agitated Gus and knew something was wrong with the car. Just in time, before it blew up, Jack and the dog bailed out, but a police car pulled up right after. Officer Will pointed his gun. Freeze. Jack told Gus to stand down. Had no choice. His car blowing up made him look like a terrorist. Will said he was under arrest, and until we sort this out, the dog's going to animal control. Jack tried to stop him. Will took him out with a nightstick. When Jack woke up, he was in the hospital, a nurse shaking him. one hand cuffed to the bed rail, he sighed, frustrated, and asked the nurse for a glass of water. As soon as she left, he reached for his clothes, had a small coin stashed there, enough to pick the lock. He worked fast while she fetched the water. She told Will, "The guy you brought in's awake." Will rushed over, telling her on the way, "He's a white supremacist terrorist, keep a close eye on him, don't let him get away." When they got there, Jack looked like he was lying quietly in bed. Will told the nurse, "Give us a minute," then he locked the door tight. "Silver or lead?" Will asked.
Your mortgage, your business insurance, well, they came to talk to me.
Turns out the cartel had bought him off. He gave Jack 3 options: get paid to work for the cartel, like me, drink this water and never wake up, or watch your wife and kid burn to death, live online. Jack's eyes turned sharp, ice cold. In a flash, he snapped the cuffs and lunged. Will was caught off guard. Jack snatched the cuff keys, slashing Will's neck with them. Now he could free himself. Completely, he changed clothes and bolted out of the room. But he ran right into the nurse. He clamped a hand over her mouth, whispering, "I'm not a threat, not a criminal. That cop, Will, he's trying to kill me and my family."
Water you please smell my bed. He put something in it. Drank or fentanyl, I don't know, you can test it.
She nodded, trembling, and he let go. After Jack fled, she went back to the room, and found Will covered in blood, but she still thought Jack was the bad guy. She helped Will up, saying, "He got away, down the stairs."
I'd have to tell the doctor.
Will couldn't let the nurse talk. He tricked her into drinking the spiked water, fast. She passed out cold on the bed in seconds. Will cleaned the cup, then called his boss. "I messed up the job," the voice on the other end warned. "Next time you fail, your family's fair game." After hanging up, he cleaned up the mess, calling his wife, find the hidden compartment in the study, passports, cash, car keys, a map. But the nurse wasn't dead yet. Will smothered her with a pillow. "I don't think I'm coming home," he said. "Take the kids and your mom, run as far as you can." He hung up after that. Meanwhile, the cartel's men tried to poison Jack's dog, but Gus had a nose for trouble. He flipped the cage latch and bolted before they could strike. He ran as fast as he could, searching for Jack. On the other side, Jack saw himself on the news. The police had issued a warrant, wanted him for attacking innocent people at the restaurant. His rampage was being framed as a targeted hate crime. Jack grabbed a random jacket, putting it on with a heavy heart, but the owner walked in right then, asking, "Why are you wearing my coat?" And just like that, Jack's face popped up on the news.
You that racist mama.
No, that's not me.
Police! Help!
He bolted out of the building, but it was too late. Will was right there, waiting for him.
I got the suspect outside, Jake Rosser.
Wait, what are you doing? Stop resisting!
Will planned to fake self-defense, make it look like Jack pulled a gun first, but Jack outsmarted him. He fired through his jacket, hand hidden. He needed to get home. Fast, he found a police car, called dispatch, and used another cop's badge number, said I need to recover a stolen unit, had him started remotely, but then, he saw Will was still alive. Turns out he was wearing multiple bulletproof vests. But Jack didn't have time for him. His family came first. He didn't look back. As soon as the car started, he sped home. Will could only watch him drive away. Then his boss spoke through the earpiece. "I left a little reward in your trunk."
Bring me my rabbit, or I will put your bitch down, along with your litter.
"And this is your last hunt." The voice added. Will popped the trunk, and there was Kate, tied up. Turns out the bad guys were a alliance of a big pharma company and the cartel. They were secretly turning painkillers into drugs, flooding the streets for big illegal profits. Back when Jack was on the force, he took down their drug ring, cut off their cash cow. These guys were ruthless. They wiped out anyone who got in their way. Jack became their top target, marked for death. So first, they sent that Mexican journalist, his family held hostage, to take Jack out in a suicide hit. Then they sent hitmen after him non-stop. They even got the media to paint him as a violent racist, all to turn him into a pariah, make everyone hate him, so they could take him out for good. Their leader was a twisted guy, thought he was God. He loved messing with people's minds, got off on it. He wanted to torture Jack before killing him. Meanwhile, Gus, who'd escaped, was tracking Jack's scent. Running as fast as he could, Jack had no idea, he was still racing home, but bad luck struck. The car was almost out of gas, he'd never make it in time. The string of disasters broke him. He talked to himself in the car, "God, don't be this cruel. I'll turn myself in. I'll do anything you want." Just don't drag my family into this.
Oh my God, don't punish them, punish me. I'll pay.
He pulled into a gas station, still muttering, but he had no cash, he had no choice, walked into the convenience store, grabbed a roll of tape off the shelf, then pulled his gun on the clerk.
Please just take whatever, man.
I'm not here to rob the store.
What? What?
Just turn on the gas pump for me.
My family's in danger, he said. I need to get home, fast. Please, unlock a pump for me. The clerk hesitated, then hit the button to unlock a pump. Jack was gonna tape him up, didn't want him calling the cops while he fueled up, but right then, Will pulled up in his police car. Jack spotted him and ducked behind the counter. The clerk thought he was saved, ran out despite Jack's warnings. Will shot him dead on the spot. The boss watched it all through the camera. He spoke to Will through the earpiece. We got your family. They tried to run. If you want them alive, you do exactly what I say from now on. Will froze, had no choice but to obey. First order, pass his message to Jack.
Not me talking anymore. It's God who speaks through me.
Then the boss started brainwashing Jack. I heard all your prayers. I'm the only God who listens to you. When Will told him to drop the gun, Jack tossed it on the floor, fast. But then, the boss ordered Will to drop his too. He wanted Will to voluntarily offer himself up, a sick sacrifice, right in front of Jack. With his family held hostage, Will had no choice but to obey. Gus charged in to stop it, but Will went through with the sacrifice. Jack rushed to help the wounded Kate into the store. Take off your belt, she said. A tracker was hidden in it the whole time. That's why Will always knew where he was. Jack drove Will's police car with Kate, racing ahead. Along the way, he hijacked an ambulance. Needed the paramedics to treat her wounds. Take us to my place first, he told the driver. I gotta pick up my wife and kid. Kate saw the paramedics were terrified, flashed her badge. We're cops, she said. Don't panic. We're not gonna hurt you. But then the radio blared a news update. Jack is still at large. Police now suspect him of kidnapping and the possible murder of LAPD detective Kate.
It's not entirely off the table.
You gotta kidnap me first.
Why would they lie?
Jack didn't address it. He just asked the paramedic for a phone, called his wife, urgent. Hearing his voice lifted a weight off her shoulders. After everything that happened tonight, she'd sent their kid to her mom's earlier. Jack told her, I was ambushed. There's a mole in the police, working with the cartel. It's bad. Find the cop guarding you. He'll keep you safe till I get there. But when she opened the door, she froze, horrified. The cop was dead. Jack knew it was over. Don't hang up. Run. Now, I'm almost there. But she didn't get far. Before the call cut out, Jack could see her, right ahead.
My phone's beeping. I can't hear you.
What beeping? I don't hear any beeping. It's a trap.
Then bullets riddled the ambulance. The paramedics were killed instantly. Kate's last words, take care of my mom. Then she died too. Only Jack and Gus were left. Gus, lock onto the two shooters in that car. In the end, Gus took down both shooters, unharmed. But as Jack ran to his wife, a sniper locked onto them. Jack grabbed her and Gus, diving over a fence. The homeowner had just called 911, turned around and took a bullet to the gut. He crumpled into his wife's arms, screaming. Jack and his wife climbed into the house, one after the other, but the shooter didn't let up. A red laser darted across walls and furniture. Lucky, only hit a mirror. Jack used the reload window to get his wife and Gus into the bathroom. He begged the old lady to come with him. The shooter would be there any second, but she refused to leave her husband. Jack had no choice but to go. Sure enough, the shooter kicked the door in. It was the guy who thought he was God. He shot her point blank in the head. Jack grabbed a crystal ball, knocking the gun away as he reloaded. Right then, his wife yelled, Gus, attack. Gus sank his teeth into the guy, and Jack picked up the gun, emptying the clip into him. Finally, the nightmare was over, but Jack still couldn't shake the murder charges. He ended up behind bars, but his wife promised she'd wait for him, and that's where the movie ends. The film follows an ex-K9 trainer with severe PTSD. After his home is destroyed by violence, he's forced to team up with his dog, fighting against a tangled web of corruption, while battling his own inner demons, all to find redemption. The core concept has real potential, but it's ruined by lazy, lackluster execution. The director's laziness is baked into every frame. The pacing is as rigid as a pre-programmed robot, the characters are walking cliches, their every move predictable. Forced coincidences to move the plot along are everywhere, convenient crises, illogical encounters, and forced twists that strip all emotion from the characters' struggles. Nothing feels grounded, just hollow and disconnected, and the supposed heart of the film, the bond between man and dog, ends up as nothing more than a plot device and a gimmick. It never delivers on the real power of that connection. From concept to execution, the whole film reeks of creative laziness and complacency. It tries to tackle heavy themes, courage, loyalty, redemption, but the shallow execution makes it impossible for audiences to connect. What's left is a soulless shell, assembled by formula, with no respect for storytelling or heart. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.